A great cruise often begins in a great city, and heading out of the LaGuardia Airport on a Sunday morning, our adventure was on as we crossed through the heart of Queens and across the middle of Manhattan before feasting our eyes on our home for the next week, the Norwegian Breakaway.
Right this way, please.
Thank you.
After quickly settling in, it was all hands on deck for the big bon voyage. We soaked in the views of the legendary New York City skyline as it slowly passed before us. And as the sun began to set, we passed by the Statue of Liberty, just as the sun was calling it a day. Next morning, it was early to rise as we anchored just off Newport, Rhode Island, where it was love me tender time for the shuttle into the port. It was a bit of a rainy morning, but the fall colors shine through on our short trip to two of the legendary Gilded Age mansions right on the ocean.
Over here on the left, behind the white picket fence, it's called the Wedding Cake House, and as you can understand why, it's being restored quite nicely here. The last few years, it was definitely had fallen into disrepair. So this is the Kennebunk River. Remember I told you they moved the shipbuilding industry down here because it's a deeper and wider river.
So we're still at the high point of the season here. I think by the weekend we'll start being on the other side of the peak of the season. All right, here's the open Atlantic now. That's that ledge out there. It's called Old Soaker. I don't know where it got its name, but I imagine in the 16, 17, 1800s, a lot of ships collided with that in the fog.
Thursday morning brought us a big hello from St. John, New Brunswick, a picturesque mid-sized city of beautiful churches, an interesting house the owners say is haunted, and we all believe that to be true. There are lots and lots of proudly standing lighthouses, quaint little lobster stations dotting the coastline, and of course some tourists from Arizona posing nearby. But it was about time to go to lunch and head to the beachfront diner where, what the heck, a pop-up barbershop quartet made a surprise visit and serenaded us with song.
For you brought a new kind of love to me, brought love to me. I know.
And now we were ready to take on a real sea monster, the legendary tides of the Bay of Fundy. It was almost unbelievable to see what looked like a simple running river, then realize it's the running tide speeding out to sea and stranding all of these fishing boats twice a day, every day. Then look at the Irving paper plant and what could pass as a lake in front of it. But wait, a couple of hours later and that lake becomes a raging river, rapidly retreating back to sea. At a dangerous top speed, I may add. Such a great day, but our ship was waiting at the end of the day. Time to bid adieu to St. John as the sun set on another perfect destination, with one more to go. It was late morning when we arrived in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It was a Friday morning, almost 11 o'clock, when our ship's dock lines had been set and secured, and welcoming us to the largest city in Canada's Atlantic provinces. Halifax is a growing metropolitan city of beautiful public gardens, with a heavy dose of fall colors, by the way, beautiful lighthouses, a rich and colorful history, and for many of us, an excursion trip out to nearby Peggy's Cove, probably the most popular side trip outside of the city, and it's easy to see why. Back in the city, I'll also add, we found some excellent craft beer breweries. Garrison, my personal favorite, the popular waterfront, a go-to all day long. Halifax also has a big place in world history. It's the final resting place for hundreds of men, women, and children from the sinking of the Titanic. It's a place where you touch history and feel the tragedy of that 1912 disaster. Halifax is a place that you could spend days exploring, but the sea was beckoning, and with one last day left of our cruise, it was time to celebrate.
It's a celebration.